On this week's episode, let's talk about the 5 outcomes of any networking conversation. Yes, only 5 outcomes. That's all there is. Once you know these 5 outcomes, you can eliminate one of the biggest things that happens to strategic networkers, and that is they get overcome by fear. So if you want to be a strategic networker, as you're becoming one, you want to learn how to get rid of the fears, and the best way I know how to do that is get rid of the unknowns. So that's one of the big reasons. If we can eliminate what we think might happen in any given conversation, and if we can get rid of that fear, then we are equipped to be much stronger. And if we know the 5 outcomes, there's only 5 of them, we can go ahead and settle in our brains, settle in our minds, settle in our hearts and attitudes that, hey, nothing bad could really happen because there's only 5 things and I know exactly how I'm going to handle each of these 5 things. That leads me to the next point. Once you understand how to handle the 5 outcomes, each one of them have their own simple way of dealing with them, you become confident. You step into every conversation with a different attitude, with a posture unlike most others that I should say are not strategic. So let's talk about these 5. Here they are. Well, in any given conversation on networking, on becoming strategic, when you're dealing with people, you're either going to get one of these 5 scenarios to play out for you. It's either going to be a no. Yes. Let me stop here. It could be a no from whatever conversation you have, and you got to know how to deal with that. So an NO, you got to know, K-N-O-W, how to deal with the NOs. The next scenario that could happen in any conversation could be that you get no response. Meaning you might communicate with someone today, they're excited, you start leaving voicemails on their answer machine or on their cell phone or whatever, and you get no response. You email them, you get no response. You try to get them to be interested by what you're communicating, but you really get no response. So you can get a no, flat out no, or you can get a no response. I don't know which one's more frustrating. I think the no response actually is more frustrating. You could send text and get no response. That is one of the outcomes that can happen in any given conversation. Now, another outcome that could happen is you could decide, or they could decide, that this is never going to be for them. Meaning, even if you think that you might could talk them into being a part of your business or your opportunity or buying your product, you may decide this is the wrong person. Then it's never going to happen. Or they present themselves with a bad attitude, so you don't want to be in business with them. It could be a never. So someone that says no may be for not now, right? Or they don't respond, no respond, or they're never going to get in with you because you don't really want them in. They're not a right match. Now here's a 4th one. The 4th one could be a yes. Yes is just one of the 5 responses that you're going to get in any given conversation. And the 5th one really is a not now. So I developed these 5, or I'm revealing these 5. I really didn't develop them. This is just what happens. People are going to be a no, they're not going to respond, or they're never going to do it because you don't want them to do it, or they're a yes, or they're simply a not now. And in each one of these categories, each one of these things, when you become confident in how you're going to deal with the no's or the no responses or the nevers or the yeses or the not nows, then your attitude, your confidence goes up because you know there's no other real scenario. For example, if someone says no, you go ahead and decide that you're not going to let that bother you, that you're not going to chase them. You're going to find out when they say no, are they a real no? Is it someone that you wanted to be in business with, but they just say, you know what, this isn't for me? Or are they going to shift to the not now category? So they're either a no or a not now. They're a no or a not now. And in many cases, you can move no's to not now. So if someone says no, you got to decide, is this someone a no, a never, or a not now? Does that no really mean never? Well, you may decide that this is not the kind of person I want to be in business with. So even if they did decide they want to do it, you're not going to pursue them, and they're going to go into the never category. In a way, I'm teaching you how to categorize people. I'm teaching you how to take the conversations you're having, determine which one of these 5 they could potentially end up being in, and learn how to deal with them. See, the no's and the nevers are individuals that either you're deciding or they're deciding, they're no longer going to be on your list. You're either taking them off their list or they're taking themselves off your list, and they're not someone that you want to pursue even being in business with in most cases. The no responses. There's only so many times you want to communicate with someone. So go ahead and decide how you're going to deal with the no responses. Personally, if you read my books, read the Now You Know book, I'm a big believer in 2 or 3 follow-ups without a response really initiates a takeaway from your part. And if they still don't respond, do you really want to be in business with someone that doesn't respond? Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop chasing people. Let's stop trying to beg, plead, talk them into it, and let's decide that if someone doesn't respond to us on a few occasions, that we're going to cross them off our list, or we're going to give them a takeaway that says, hey, this may or may not be for you, and I'm certainly not interested in talking you into anything, but hey, if you're not interested, why don't I take you off my list? Why don't you learn to say a few things like that, because those are one of the 3 responses. Now, yeses are real simple. You have a get started plan with your company. When someone says yes, you've got to be confident in how you're going to help them move forward as someone that wants to build a small business because they have a small belief, or a big business because they have a big belief, or a big and fast business because they're ready to go now. And in any scenario, a yes leads someone to how do they get started. So getting someone launched in your business becomes key for the yeses. But here's really where the money can become. Of course, the yeses you're going to make some money with. But if someone ends up on the not now list, meaning they're high quality people, timing's bad, but they've got influence, and you learn how to follow up with them properly, where you're not chasing or begging, or every time they see you, you're running them down trying to sell them something. But you're communicating with them, you're having conversations. And over time, that one of those conversations could be 3 months or a year or 2 years from now. They reveal to you that, okay, I'm in a different place, I'm looking for something different, or hey, what is it you're doing? Are you still involved with that? And and that conversation begins to naturally come back around, because yes, they already looked at what you had said, they already looked at what you had, they already had been a part of the presentation before, so they had an idea, but now enough time has gone by and the timing in their life has got to a point where now they're willing to listen. And the not nows are very important. The yeses are very important. But the no's, the no responses, and the nevers, we want to get those off of our list as quickly as possible so that we're either working with yeses or not nows. Those are the 5 scenarios. Understand them, know how you're going to work with them, and deal with them in confidence, and you'll become a strategic networker.